Looking into exactly what the motivation is remains our #1 priority.
As we get to 4 o'clock, we continue to learn more about the decorated U.S. Army soldier from here in Colorado who police blew up that Cybertruck outside of the Trump Hotel yesterday in Las Vegas. As you just heard, motive remains unclear, but investigators did share today much more about what happened before the explosion and what they found inside that truck. Thanks for joining us for 4 o'clock at 9 News. I'm Tom Green.
And I'm Kim Christensen. Investigators say that man, Matthew Leibelsberger, was a decorated member of the military. He lived in Colorado Springs and rented the Cybertruck in Denver days before the explosion. Jeremy Hajola has been following this case closely, and he is joining us in the studio with more. Jeremy.
Investigators say they have a high degree of confidence they know the man who caused this blast. Matthew Leibelsberger was active military in the Special Forces stationed in Germany. Overnight, federal agents searched his home in Colorado Springs, and as we learn more about what they found in the truck and where the driver stopped in Vegas, for now the motive remains unclear. He was a highly decorated Green Beret who served in Afghanistan. Investigators named 37-year-old Matthew Allen Leibelsberger as the man they believe detonated the Cybertruck explosion in front of Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. The explosion captured on camera New Year's Day morning. Nobody else was killed.
We also discovered through the coroner's office that the individual had sustained a gunshot wound to the head prior to the detonation of the vehicle. One of the handguns was found at his feet inside of the vehicle.
Police showed images of Leibelsberger's military ID and passport recovered from the Cybertruck, along with gas canisters and guns they say he bought just before Christmas. Investigators also revealed he rented the Cybertruck in Denver on December 28th. Using information from charging stations, they tracked his route from Colorado, showing he arrived in Las Vegas New Year's Day morning. For now, his motive is a complete mystery.
It's not lost on us that it's in front of, of the Trump building, that it's a Tesla vehicle, but we don't have information at this point that definitively tells us or suggests it was because of this particular ideology or any of the reasoning behind it.
On Wednesday evening, federal agents executed a search warrant at Leibelsberger's duplex in northeast Colorado Springs.
I'm really shocked. I would have never thought that that would be him.
Neighbor Cindy Hellwig describes Leibelsberger as a friendly neighbor who would occasionally say hi.
Just normal, just a nice guy. He's in the military. I would see him in his uniform. Yeah, we never talked about his military career or anything like that.
Leibelsberger was on approved leave from the military when this happened, and while there is a lot of speculation online this incident may be connected to the incident in New Orleans, investigators in Las Vegas say they have not made any sort of connection there. He did serve on the same military base as the suspect in New Orleans, but at different times and in different units. Back to you, Kim.
A lot's come out in the last 24 hours, but boy, there's still a lot to learn.
Still a lot to learn, especially the why.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy.
Also today, Las Vegas police were thanking Tesla CEO Elon Musk
for the help in the investigation, providing access to information from charging stations around the country. And tonight on Next, our Marshall Zellinger is looking into the privacy that you give up when you drive a modern car.
I want to get the latest now on the other developing national investigation. Bourbon Street reopened to pedestrians today while the investigation there continues as far as the truck attack.
Today we learned that the driver behind the deadly attack posted videos on social media proclaiming his support for ISIS. Flowers are seen leaning up against the wall to honor the 14 people who were killed. More than 30 others were hurt before police shot and killed the driver in exchange of gunfire. Today, more barriers were installed and police were out monitoring the area as tourists and Sugar Bowl fans filtered back down Bourbon Street ahead of this afternoon's kickoff between Notre Dame and Georgia. The game was postponed last night, but now the city seems to be on the sense of returning to a sense of normalcy.
The FBI's investigation, as of right now, is confident at this stage, based on the information they have, that this is a lone actor. Okay, this is a lone actor. Therefore, we are confident that we can open Bourbon Street and the rest of our city.
And the Sugar Bowl is taking place right now at the Superdome. We'll have reaction from fans later this hour. New Orleans natives living here in town are trying to find a way to support their community. Henry Baptiste, the owner of Nola Voodoo Tavern in North Denver, says he spent much of New Year's Day checking in on his family and friends still in Louisiana. He's now coordinating a fundraiser, hoping to help the victims of the attack. He says it's the least he can do as he waits to hear if all of his family is okay.
A good chance if somebody from our family could have been down there, and not knowing everything I could, it was kind of very, very worrying.
Batiste is still ironing out some of the details that he has for this fundraiser next weekend. He hopes all the proceeds will go towards the fund set up by New Orleans city leaders. NBC Nightly News is on the ground in New Orleans with continuing coverage and the latest on the investigation of the Bourbon Street terror attack. We have much more on that coming up at 5:30.
Plenty of weather in and around Colorado. The high country saw some snow today, making for a slick commute. Here's a live look along I-70 near Copper Mountain. You can see some snow, mostly alongside the roads, but certainly a slick drive up there. Closer to home in Denver, well, it was pretty warm today. We got up to 50 degrees today. Cold temperatures, though, are coming our way for the weekend and on into next week. Kathy, that would include all those people going out to that Bronco game on Sunday afternoon.
Yes, it would. I think we're going to see some snow, Tom, Saturday night, ending by Sunday morning. I don't think we'll see snow during the game, but it certainly will be chilly on the backside of that weekend storm as it exits the area. Today, a warmer day. 50s in Denver, a little bit of wind off to the west, a few flurries along the Front Range this morning. A calmer evening and an improved drive in and out of the mountains, with winter weather and travel advisories set to cancel out in about an hour's time. We have a mild, dry pattern for Denver to end the week, tracking a weekend storm and chance for snow. And again, winter weather and travel advisories out for the mountains. We're down to 44 in Denver. Colorado Springs still at 50, 55 in Trinidad. Winds are very gusty on I-70 over some of the higher passes up around Blackhawk, Dumont, Nederland, and up into southeastern Wyoming. A couple of little snow streaks in northeastern Colorado with a few snow showers there. Additional mountain accumulation will be light and not terribly impactful for those driving in and out of the mountains on the I-70 corridor. Winter weather advisory, winter storm warning should cancel out at 5 o'clock. And we're looking at futurecasts and seeing the snow coming to an end, skies clearing, the winds letting up, and really kind of a nice temperature trend for the next couple of hours. Coming up, the extended forecast in detail and when Denver sees a chance for snow.
It had become one of the least surprising announcements in Colorado politics. Not many people surprised today when the state's Attorney General, Phil Weiser, made it official that he's running for governor in 2026. The Democrat made that announcement on X. Our political reporter, Marshall Zellinger, of course, had been hearing that Weiser would be running for quite a while. But when asked about it previously, Weiser would deny it. However, Healthier Colorado did a poll last month of potential Democratic candidates for governor. Weiser did not fare well in that poll, despite being the state's attorney general right now. He finished first in a category called Never Heard Of. Well, this afternoon, after making the announcement on X, Weiser sat down with our own Kyle Clark.
I've focused a lot on water and how we build more water infrastructure and prepare for this time of drought. And I focused a lot of effort on broadband, how we make sure we build broadband across our state, making available rights of way. So I'm really concerned about those issues for the future of Colorado.
Of course, there's much more of that interview, and you can see it. Kyle's interview with the AG Weiser coming up on Next tonight at 6 o'clock.
Right now, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office is looking for a driver who left the scene of a rollover crash. It happened early Sunday morning, about 12:15, near Kendrick Castillo Way, formerly known as Lucent Boulevard and Plaza Drive. They're looking for a 2015 or 16 Dodge Durango, either red or maroon. It will have front end damage as well. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Dougco Sheriff's Office. The former chief of Jeffco Schools has died, and his death is under investigation. Jeffco says it learned David Weiss died while he was in Maryland with family for the holidays. Investigators in Maryland say they think he took his own life. Jeffco Schools fired him last month. They didn't say why. This morning, the sheriff said he was being investigated for having child sexual abuse material. A new program in northern Colorado could help save more lives. UC Health is giving whole blood to victims in the field. 9 News' northern Colorado reporter Amanda Gilbert learned more about how this works.
Whole blood is almost like what's in our veins right now. It's got a lot of what is needed when a patient is losing blood fast. That plasma, red blood cells. Now, in the past, EMS crews really couldn't take that outside of the temperature-controlled hospital until now.
When tragedy strikes, it's common knowledge every minute, every second matters.
You know, every minute does matter in terms of blood loss.
But northern Colorado's big.
I think the geographical location is about the size of Connecticut.
Which creates a challenge for saving lives.
We have some response areas that can take multiple hours to get to before we actually even get to our patient.
Operations Supervisor Mike Manners says now they have these coolers.
Kind of a Yeti cooler looking thing.
This is what lets EMS bring whole blood to the field.
We're able to maintain and monitor the temperatures with technology that goes right to our phone. With delivery of the blood, we've got to warm the blood before it actually goes into the patient.
That's where the blood warming device comes in.
That's the unit fully assembled. The blood comes in through this way, comes out towards your patient.
EMS Medical Director Tyler Vaughn says that's a big deal.
The earlier we can replace blood that a patient is losing, the less likely their heart is to be damaged, their brain is to be damaged, their kidneys.
While they don't have survival rates just yet, they expect this to be a huge help in 2025.
This is a partnership between UC Health and Thompson Valley EMS, and this can be used for just a range of things: car accidents, shootings, or internal bleeding. In Loveland, Amanda Gilbert, 9 News.
It just launched in northern Colorado last month. It's already in El Paso, Clear Creek, and Grand counties. UC Health says this can also reduce the amount of blood that a patient needs overall.